All right, class, today we're looking at population, and our essential question that we need to answer after our discussion is, how does the study of population assist in the geographer's view of the world? Our learning targets. We'll be able to explain population patterns and how they help geographers learn about the world, and being able to explain the importance of population statistics and trends and how they impact the places we live. Application targets. How are we going to be able to use this knowledge? You can apply knowledge of population statistics to view why and where people live, and you can integrate population statistics and trends in our study of geography. Population patterns then. Population is the total number of people in a given area. Population influences the variety of businesses, types of transportation, and the number of schools in our communities. Population density is a measure of the number of people living in an area. So think about like dense, how many people are packed into that particular area. The more people per square mile, the more crowded or dense it is. So it goes by number of people per square mile. So then a question being, how do you think population density affects life in a particular place? So we're looking here, this would be very dense as compared to the picture on the left, right? So, you know, the number of people living in that size area is going to be much more than when we're looking here. So this is less dense, and this will be more dense. There's more people per square mile. When we look at a world map, we look at our key or legend, and this tells us the darker the purple, the more people per square mile. We'll see another image of this later on, but we can see where the high areas of density are right through here. Let's do that in a different color. We'll go green. Right through here and then in here. And then our discussion on latitudinal zones, we see that most of the people live in this latitudinal zone. And if we're looking at North America, our areas of high population density are going to be around New York City, Boston, and then Europe right through there. Population change. How many people who live in an area affects all elements of life. What and how many jobs are available, whether there are hospitals or schools open, the amount and type of available food is all affected by how many people are living in a particular area. How do we track these changes then? Geographers look at three key statistics to learn about population change. They look at birth rate, death rate, and then the rate of natural increase. Births add to the population and deaths subtract from it. Birth rate is measured as the annual number of births per 1,000 people. So then on the flip side, the death rate is measured as the annual number of deaths per 1,000 people. And then the birth rate minus the death rate equals the percentage of natural increase, or the rate at which population is changing. So birth rate minus death rate. High population growth rates pose challenges to provide jobs, medical care, and education. When we calculate this then, country A, the birth rate is 10.8 and the death rate is 16.1. Is the population growing or shrinking? That would be shrinking, right? Because there's more deaths than there are births. Country B, the rate of natural increase is 0.05%. So we see that it's a positive number. So would it be growing or shrinking? It would be growing. And then country C, the rate of natural increase is negative 0.07%. Is the population growing or shrinking? So when we look here, it's a negative, so that would mean it's shrinking. The rate of natural increase is going down, so the population is shrinking. Migration and population trends. Migration is the process of moving from one place to another. People migrate for many reasons. We categorize them in two categories. Push factors. People are pushed out of their current location due to things like war, famine, or lack of jobs. And then pull factors. People are pulled away from where they're currently living due to better opportunities elsewhere. Things like jobs, better schools, maybe other families live there. And for the last 200 years, the Earth's population has exploded. Since the 1800s, population has grown from 1 billion to 7 billion. So looking at all the time prior to the 1800s, it only grew to 1 billion. And then in the last 200 years, we've seen plus 6 million. We saw this map before. The image was a little different, but considering this fact here, there are more people living inside this circle than anywhere else in the world. So this is the most densely populated region on the planet. And then this is just some different ways to look at population in terms of concentration or density. So depending upon when they got the information, but 7 billion people, that was, we could say that was in 2014. 6.9 billion people lived in one city. If all of the world's population of 6.9 billion people lived in one city, that city would be as dense as. So if they all lived in Paris, the density would be equal to that. If they all lived in New York, the density would be as equal to the size of Texas. If everybody lived in Singapore, the density would be equal to that area. So on with San Francisco. We see the different combinations of states. London, and then Houston, as in terms of, and this is in terms of density, right? How many people per square mile? So hopefully you got a grasp on population, and we will talk to you again next time.